news, labor unions reject federal government's minimum wage offer, may resume strike action on Tuesday. High Court affirms Amaewhule, 26 other pro-Wike lawmakers as PDP members. And reps seek 6-year single tenure for president, a rotation among zones. Thank you for joining us on News Now. I'm Simisola Adigun. Our labor unions in the country have vowed to reject both 62,000 naira and 100,000 naira minimum wage proposal for Nigerian workers by the federal government, saying that its latest demand as the living wage for an average Nigerian worker remains 250,000 naira. Speaking to newsmen on Monday, the Assistant General Secretary of the Nigeria Labour Congress, Chris Onyeka, described such proposal as a starvation wage. Onyeka added the one-week grace period given to the federal government to review its proposal last Tuesday, June 4, 2024, would expire by midnight on Tuesday, June 11, 2024. He says organized labor would meet to decide on the resumption of the nationwide industrial action if the federal government and National Assembly fail to act on workers' demand by then. I recall that organized labor had called off the strike for a week after the federal government pleaded for negotiations on a new national minimum wage. Union representatives say the strike, which affected several sectors of the country's economy, was triggered after weeks of failed negotiations. Well, it seems that the unions are preparing for a resumption of the strike action. Public affairs analyst Akin Fatuke joins me on the news to discuss this further. Thank you for your time, sir. Now, Labour has outrightly rejected all offers below its demand of 250,000 naira and has even threatened to resume its strike on Tuesday if the government fails to meet its demand. Is this a logical move considering the economic challenges in the country?
Simisola, good evening, and thanks for having me. I would like to say clear cut, understandably, and I will take it from a different perspective before we go into the economics. The economics is there. We are being assailed from left, right, and center by insensate and insensitive elites and governance. Just is not making sense. I cannot be having a wound on my leg and you can help me with a little bit of a bandage. It doesn't help the cure. But not at the same time, you are supposed to give me a tetanus injection. You refuse to give me that tetanus injection, and then you still bind me to the Philistines. We are not showing good example. Yes, the economic realities that things are very, very expensive. Things are very, very hard. No doubt about it, you know. But that is perhaps where it may have to stop. We now need to put a thin line, and there appear to be a thin line in here. Nigeria Labour Congress and the TUC are speaking for workers all over. I think it's now been properly expanded, not just federal workers, even at the states. Now, if the states are saying they are incapable of paying, again, one may understand, but one will not understand the kind of ostentation that we begin to see, even while we are still trying to cook this. Well, 9 state governors buying SUVs for their legislators, a lot of shenanigans going up and down. It's vexatious. So let's get back to the economics. My prescription has always been the fact that we are not supposed to be talking about living wage. Look, there is a difference. The minimum wage is the least you are supposed to be paying people who are working. People who are working, not necessarily people who are not working. People who are working, and that is the first level entry. If you do the maths, in reality, it comes to big numbers. And economics is certainly opportunity costs and foregone alternatives. I want to see situations where all tiers of government trim down cost of governance, especially when it comes to headcount labor costs. Having said that, I expect that some of the things that labor should also be looking at will be things that are not necessarily monetary. Can we, and I know we have been trying to push that for quite a while, can we now begin to now look for much more enduring things? Transportation subsidy? Can we be looking for education subsidy? Can we be looking for health subsidy? That is going to be much more encompassing and takes care of the whole lot. As I speak, I mentioned it to you, Simisola, and I was very clear. I can understand the pain and the angst of a people being deprived of the nebulous 250, and then you are taking 4 or 5 times. Very few people. I mean, it just does not make sense. But, put together, companies are flying with their feet. Part of it is the unstable environment where you are going to be asking them to add that kind of quantum into their payroll. They cannot afford it. And the only other way will be to be job cuts and job losses. I think the labor has a right to go on strike. I think the labor should, if they so demand, go on strike. But I think the labor has to draw a line. Some of the things that happened the last time should not repeat itself. It's a plea. It's a plea that I'm also making here.
Moving on, a group of lawmakers in the House of Representatives have proposed some amendments to the 1999 Constitution, which they believe will improve governance in the country. The lawmakers proposed a 6-year single tenure for the president and the 36 state governors and sought the creation of offices for 2 vice presidents, one from the southern region and the other from the northern region of the country. Speaking on behalf of the group on Monday in Abuja, the member representing Imo State, Ikenga Ugo Chinyere, says the proposed amendments aim to foster national unity and ensure an equitable distribution of political power across Nigeria's diverse regions. The group also proposed an amendment to the Electoral Act 2022 to ensure that all governorship elections are held on the same day.
A single tenure of 6 years, rotation of power between North and South and among the geopolitical zones and the senatorial zones for the governorship, and also single tenure for the presidency and single tenure for the governorship 6 years, removing the billions we spend in re-election and the uncertainty it brings to our electoral process, plus the corruption it also brings. And also, we are seeking for all elections to be conducted in one day, reducing the cost of conducting election, getting more citizens involved on election day, and reducing to the barest minimum the possibility of rigging, because you will have those interested in the presidency, in the governorship, in the state assembly, in the national assembly, in the local government, all turning up to vote for their different candidates. Each of the polling units will be populated, and that can help to provide a lot of defense.
You also will agree that at different times our interests could differ. Some persons would want to travel home because they have a candidate who wants to contest for probably the House of Assembly. And the other elections won't have anything to do with them, they don't bother. So if you aggregate diverse interests, you would find out that voter turnout would definitely improve.
We want to ensure that all potential of young people is utilized. That is by providing opportunity for a rotation from the presidency to the governorship and to local government election. Given this full participation, you will understand that people will have roles to play at different levels.
Still on political matters, a Rivers State High Court sitting in Port Harcourt has affirmed that Martin Amaewhule and the 26 other members of the Rivers State House of Assembly are still members of the People's Democratic Party, PDP. Delivering judgment in Port Harcourt early on Monday, Justice Okogbole Gbasam of the Rivers State High Court held that the claimants failed to prove that Amaewhule and 26 other lawmakers had defected to the All Progressives Congress, APC. Gbasam noted noted the defection cannot be established through newspaper publications, radio announcements, or online publications as tendered by the claimant. The judge held that membership in a party is only proven by being listed on its register or by a membership card, and such members must fulfill all requirements of their membership in the party. Consequently, the judge ruled that the lawmakers have not lost their seats, noting that the Rivers State government is bound to obey all laws passed by the Assembly. Reacting to this development, legal practitioner Evans Ufele says the ruling by the Rivers State High Court only makes it clear that a person must be withdrawn from their membership and delisted in the register of the party before such is legally accepted. According to him, verbal declarations are not legally binding.
Defection does not actually mean that you have a publication or you have a public declaration of same. That defection goes beyond that. That if you have gone to court and you want the court to make a declaration that their seat is vacant, which that is what the person who went to court did, that you must bring evidence to the fact that the party that you said they have defected to, you must show that they are now members of that party by virtue of the registration document and every other ancillary document that evidence that they now belong to that political party. Okay, that is from the angle the court looked at it. Court went further to say that publications and the public outcry or statements as to a defection of this person are not enough to ground what defection should mean under the law. PDP had made public declarations before now that the 27 members are not their members. They have said that before now in a press conference in Rivers State, that these 27 members that everybody is talking about that now belong to the APC are not in their membership books. They are nowhere in the list of their members to start with. They have said it before now. That for me goes a long way to show that I do not think the 27 members have actually made themselves available for the registration as members of the party of the APC. I do not think so. So all the while, it has been about, the conflict has been about people venting and making statements here and there that they defected. And so their seat should be declared vacant. But now the court is drawing us deeper into what defection should mean in the ordinary sense of it. Every action taken so far by the State House of Assembly of Rivers State, the Amaole faction and all that, that they remain valid. That's what the court is saying. They remain valid to the extent that they never defected. They remain valid to the extent that they never defected, and that because they never defected, their action couldn't have been declared null and void, meaning that all the while they were in dispute, all the while they were raising issues of impeachment, defection, and the issue of the budget, everything cumulatively put together have been declared valid by this court, showing that they never defected.
Into health issues, Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has inaugurated a pediatric sickle cell center at the Lagos State University Teaching Hospital, LASUTH. The center was donated to the medical institution by the Office of the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Sustainable Development Goals. Sanwo-Olu says the center would provide comprehensive care that includes early diagnosis, advanced treatment, and continued management to children suffering from the debilitating sickle cell condition. TV360's Sydney Okafor reports.
Gathered here are staff of the Lagos State Teaching Hospital and stakeholders in the health sector for the official launching the new Pediatric Sickle Cell Center in Lagos. The purpose-built medical facility, donated by the Office of Adejoke Orelope Adefulere, the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Sustainable Development Goals, will provide comprehensive care that includes early diagnosis, advanced treatment, and continue management to children suffering from the debilitating sickle cell condition. According to Governor Sanwo-Olu, the center will serve as a hub for research and education and foster a greater awareness and deeper understanding of sickle cell disease.
So we believe that this center, in our view, will further nurture an environment where children can receive holistic care tailored to their individual needs, from medical treatment to psychological support. And we believe that this will ensure that every child that has an opportunity to come to this facility will come out healthier, will come out better, and they will be able to fulfill, life.
Earlier, the Minister of State for Health and Social Welfare, Tuji Alausa, reinstated the federal government commitment to combat non-communicable disease and improve healthcare outcomes for Nigerians.
The establishment of this state-of-the-art sickle cell center is a testament to the dedication of SDG office to provide quality healthcare and infrastructure to our people. I'm informed that this center is designed to offer comprehensive care from early diagnosis and treatment to ongoing management and support for patients and their families. This center is not merely a building, it's a beacon of hope for many and a cornerstone of a strategy to enhance healthcare services nationwide.
Speaking further, the Chief Medical Director of LASUTH, Adetokunbo Fambawu, reeled out the achievement of medical institutions while lauding the effort and support of the Lagos State government.
LASUTH now has 5 training institutions: the School of Anesthetic Technology, the School of Orthopedic Cast Technology, the School of Echocardiography, the Institute of Advanced Diploma in Healthcare and Administration, and the recently inaugurated and highly subscribed Caregiver Academy. In the offing is the School of Paramedics. We want to train first responders who will respond to accidents and disasters. We want to train them formally here, and we are also collaborating with the National Institute of Sports to do this.
The Lagos State government says the center will scale up response time to sickle cell cases and teen infant mortality, provide optimal medical treatment and psychological support. Sydney Okafor, TV360, Lagos.
It's time for a break, and News Now will return shortly. Do stay with us. Welcome back. Here's a quick recap of our top stories. Labor unions in the country have vowed to reject both 62,000 naira or 100,000 naira minimum wage proposal by Nigerian workers by the federal government, saying that its latest demand as the living wage for an average Nigerian worker remains 250,000 naira. Speaking to newsmen on Monday, the Assistant General Secretary of the Nigeria Labour Congress (NLC), Chris Onyeka, described such proposal as a starvation wage. He says organized labor would meet to decide on the resumption of the nationwide industrial action if the federal government and National Assembly fail to act on workers' demands by then. We also told you that a Rivers State High Court sitting in Port Harcourt has affirmed that Martin Amaewhule and 26 other members of the Rivers State House of Assembly are still members of the People's Democratic Party (PDP). Delivering judgment in Port Harcourt early on Monday, Justice Okogwule Gbasam of the Rivers State High Court held that the claimants failed to provide proof that Amaewhule and 26 other lawmakers had defected to the All Progressives Congress (APC). Consequently, the judge ruled that the lawmakers have not lost their seats, adding that the Rivers State government is bound to obey all laws passed by the Assembly. In case you missed any of our news bulletins or for more updates, you can catch us on Limex World TV and AVO TV or log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at TV360 Nigeria, or download our mobile app on Google Play Store, Huawei App Gallery, and Apple Store. On Facebook, we're at TV360 Online. It's now time for business and stock market report. Joy Uchejem is on standby. What's the latest, Joy?
Thank you, Simi, and welcome to Business News. State governments have called on the federal government to enforce a no-meter, no-service policy for all new electricity connections in the country. The plea was outlined in the development of the National Integrated Electricity Policy and Strategic Implementation Plan, policy recommendations by state governments to the Federal Ministry of Power document from the Nigeria Governors Forum. In the document, state governments highlighted the critical importance of electricity meters in bridging the significant metering gap, which is essential for the viability of sub-national markets. The states also argued that state electricity regulatory commissions should have the autonomy to determine the most suitable meter technology, type, and form for deployment within their respective electricity markets. We'll take a short break and be back with stock market reports. Welcome back. The Nigerian equities market is off on a green start this week as the market cap increased by 0.58% to over 99,000 basis points. Now that is very close to the 100,000 basis points benchmark, a major feat for the NGX if they continue in this trend in the coming days. Championing the gainers today is Flour Mill Nigeria, which increased by 3 naira 80 kobo, and that's a 10% share price appreciation, followed by Total Nigeria. Now market activities were also on the high side as a total of 963 million volumes of shares were exchanged in over 18 billion naira, a 148,000 improvement in volume. Now we see what brought about the bulls in Monday's trading. Now it's a different story for our select global stocks as the UK and US market both slid down into bearish territory, but the Japan's Nikkei managed to keep their heads above water to close at 0.98%. Now let's take a quick look at our foreign exchange market. We see that the naira gained against the dollar to lose about 20 naira to trade at 1,485 naira on the black market. Now the Great British Pound also traded at 1,890 naira on the black market, while the euros traded at 1,567 naira on the official market and at 1,580 naira on the black market. That's on both business and stock market report. Back to you, Simi, for the rest of the news.
Thank you very much, Joy, for that update. And in the United Kingdom, Prime Minister Rishi Sunak has dismissed rumors that he would quit office before the July 4 general election as criticisms about his early departure from D-Day commemoration events stretched. The Conservative leader issued an apology after outrage from veterans groups that he declined to join other world leaders at an event in northern France to mark the 80th anniversary of the invasion. His decision to instead record a television interview, which also prompted criticisms from his own colleagues, was the latest misstep on the campaign trial for the vote. The 44-year-old has also faced questions about his veracity of his repeated claims about Labour's personal tax plans. And 90 states from around the globe have signed up to attend a conference aimed at finding a route to sustainable peace in Ukraine. However, Russia will not be represented. President of Switzerland, Viola Amherd, told reporters in Bern on Monday that the aim of the event, slated for June 15 to 16, is to agree on a path towards ending the war that started nearly 28 months ago when Russian forces invaded Ukraine. Bern has previously said that Russia was not invited, as it had signaled it was not interested in participating. On sports, Nigeria Super Eagles are continuing the quest for a first win in the 2026 World Cup qualifiers against the Cheetahs of Benin Republic at the Felix Huford-Boigny Stadium. Nigerians have expressed optimism, although their first game was disappointing after playing out a 1-1 draw against the Bafana Bafana of South Africa on home soil. They're eager to see their beloved Super Eagles get their campaign back on track, as they are currently second from the bottom in Group C with 3 points, having drawn all 3 games in the series.
The players we expected to play were not the ones that played. Then I don't know if it was the coach or I don't know what happened, but I felt like the players were played in like different positions that they were not meant to be played in. Like for example, Iheanacho normally is a 9. I don't know what he's doing at the right wing or right midfield. Ademola Lookman, yes, he can play that 9, but he's more of that right. He's more of a winger, so you should like play that wing. Then Onuachu has not been. His performance has been poor. It's like since I've been watching him. So starting him, and leaving Boniface, who has had a great season for Bayern Leverkusen, on the bench is, I don't know. I've never heard. It doesn't just make sense.
Well, it's so unfortunate that Nigeria can still be playing this way, because if you look at records before now, South Africa, we used to beat South Africa in Johannesburg and bring them to Nigeria here and flog them, but now we are struggling. Can you imagine which position are we on the table where there is other those countries? Nigeria is at the 5th position. You know, it's unheard of.
I feel the field is still fresh for him. It's just a new start, so it still has like probably maybe 2 more games before you can say okay if it's good or if it's bad. When it comes to football in Africa Heritage, we're always like the top dogs. We're never the underdog. So I'm confident enough for them to go into the game today and have a good time and go for the win.
And it's a wrap on our bulletin. Many thanks for watching. We'll see you again next time.